same time?
No, we never have.
Okay.
Please,
My part of the story, and then I'll switch over to him.
Switch over to me.
So, I was going to an art show in Arlington. I just never knew that there was art in Arlington, but apparently there is. I was going to an art show in Arlington with my brother, and Tatum lives in Arlington. Arlington's kind of far from where I live. It's like 45 minutes.
It's far from everywhere.
It's far from everywhere. It's lame.
Like you go to the middle of nowhere and turn left and go like 40 miles, you'll find it.
Yeah, pretty much. So, because I was in Arlington, I was like, Gino, we should totally go hang out with Tatum and whatever. So I called Tatum, he doesn't answer, and I was like, man, I don't remember where he lives or anything. So on the voicemail, I say, you know, like, hey Tatum, we want to hang out with you or whatever. Tell us where you live again because we can't remember. So hang up. Then my brother remembers miraculously. Somehow he's like, oh, I think I actually do remember where he lives. So we're gonna like just go surprise him. So we go, and he's not there. But my brother points out that the window is open because you can see the lock. Like there's a big window on his front porch.
It was unlocked. It wasn't like open. It wasn't like
yeah. It was just unlocked, so you could see the lock. And my brother was like, "Dude, the window's totally unlocked. We should break in." And I was like, "Great idea." So we go into the house, and Angus is like, and he freaks out. Yeah, he's like, Angus, and he gets really scared, and he runs away. And then we proceed to rearrange some of his stuff, like his books, and I think I rearranged your furniture too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, furniture. Yeah, just sort of like, you know, just a little. And then my brother starts freaking out. He's like, oh my God, what if someone calls the cops? What if someone calls the cops? And I was like, yeah, we should probably go. So after we put a bunch of his books out, and we actually put a note on one of the books saying like, had a great time, thanks for everything, later. And then we leave, and as we're driving away, Gino, my brother, is just like, I really want to do more stuff. And I was like, all right, what should we do? So we decided to go to the gas station, which was kind of around the corner, and got him one of those, like a 6-pack of those like mini beer cans, which Tatum does not drink beer at all because he's gay. But he does.
Not domestic brew anyway.
He does really like ice cream. So to offset, especially like homemade, Bluebell homemade vanilla ice cream is like the greatest ice cream of all time. So we did, to offset the beer, we did get him some ice cream too. And so went back and put that in his fridge, and I wrote on the ice cream, like, you know, like, I heart you, Tatum. And then we leave. And then I guess I'll switch over to you at that point.
Okay, so I had been out to dinner with my boyfriend that night, and my phone, we were in a restaurant, so I didn't hear the phone ring when Brina called originally. And as only on the way home did I look down at my phone and realize I had a voicemail, so I looked on, and like we're just pulling into the driveway as I'm listening to her voicemail saying, hey Tatum, it's Brina, Gino and I are in town, and we want to hang out. We couldn't remember where you lived. And I'm like, oh, I'll call them as soon as we get in the house. I go to unlock the front door, and only the bottom lock is locked. Like the top lock is not. And I know, like, I'm obsessive compulsive when it comes to like leaving and going from the house. I'm like, that was not, that was weird. So I open the door and I turn on the light, and someone has clearly been in my home. Like, the couches are moved around, books are taken, DVDs are like all stacked all willy-nilly everywhere. And you forgot to mention that on the note was a $5 bill.
Oh, right, we gave him $5.
Like, nice. I mean, it was like, no, it made me feel like a hooker. Like,
well, also on the note,
up, you know,
also on the note was like a random series, like sequence of numbers. Because like it was something that my brother had written. It was like a random post-it note that my brother had, and it was like some random sequence of numbers, and he was like, I don't remember what that is, but it's creepy, right? Like, so that
was like an episode of Lost. I'm like, what does this mean? What does this mean? It's not enough to be a phone number. What the hell? Is it a combination lock? Is it a Greyhound bus locker? What the, you know? And I am absolutely going to conniption fit, and my boyfriend is like, okay, this is really, really weird, because my first thought is, oh my God, some crazy fan has like found out where I live and is probably still here. So we're like, you know, I'm looking for Goldilocks, and you know, nothing is stolen, nothing is taken, and I realized I can't figure out how they got in, because we didn't leave to mean the windows unlocked. We'd had someone like there prior, and they were like helping us clean and stuff, and they had cleaned the windows and left them unlocked. And So what happened, I mean, like, after, like, a few minutes, I called Brina instantly because my first thought was, okay, she and Gino were doing this, and they were like, you know, this voicemail was just their alibi. Like, oh, how could it possibly have been us? We couldn't, and indeed, when I call her, I'm like, Brina, are you messing with me? Did you do this? And she's like, do what? Do what? I'm back home. Like, we're.
Yeah, I was like, dude, we didn't remember where you lived. I said that on the voicemail.
Yeah.
Like, and of course, he had also called Gino, and Gino is not a good liar at all. So he, like, completely ignored the call and immediately called me and was like, he just called me. I think he's gonna call you. Are you gonna answer? I didn't answer. Are you gonna answer?
Well, and so Brina convinces me that she wasn't the one that did it, and I buy it because I'm like, well, okay, she's saying it's not, and she owned it. She was an actress. So I start really getting freaked out, and I start calling all my friends, like, finding out, because I'm thinking, please let this be someone I know, and not like Charles Manson, you know. Please let this be someone I know that's just having fun with me. And there's a friend of mine named Denise, a very dear friend of mine. She's one of my best friends in the world, and she and I had kind of a little prank war going at the time too. But she's got a kid, and you know, her husband, and she can very rarely get away from the child. So it was very unlikely it was her. And in all this, I was like I tried to call her on her cell phone, and she wouldn't answer. Which immediately I'm like, she's not answering. Culprit! I found it. I know who this is. And I'm leaving her messages, and I finally like, oh, I have an old number for her. I have like a house number. Let's see if they're home. So I call the house line, and I'm scrolling through my phone, and I find Denise. And the phone rings like 4 or 5 times, and this voice answers, hello? And I'm like, Denise, yeah? Were you in my house tonight? Who is this? This is Michael. Michael Tatum, hello, your best friend, hello, did I wake you up? It's only like 11 o'clock at night, what the hell's wrong? And I'm just start bitching her out. And then I just hear this, oh, Michael Tatum, oh my God, how are you? It is my boss, Denise, from 6 years prior, who now lives in like New York or something, and I still had her number, and I just was like 1 click away, and it was like, oh, and so I go from like enraged to, oh, hey Denise, how you doing? No, I'm a voice actor now, yeah, it's crazy. And so I do this, and then finally, now I call the police come out there, and the guy's like,
writes up a report
and everything, and I'm just like livid, and I finally get a hold of the real Denise, and she's like, sweetie, it's not me, I've got proof, I've got an alibi. And so I finally, and then I find the beer and the ice cream, which really sends me, I'm like, that's my name! On it. This is not right! And so I call Brina, no, did you call me?
No, I called you.
You called me
because, segue back to me. He called me the first time, and I was like, I'll totally call him back in like 30 minutes, let him sweat it a little bit, you know. And then I forgot.
Like 4.5 hours forgot.
It was like 3 hours.
It was like 4.5 hours.
So then, I literally, it was like almost waking up in a cold sweat kind of thing, kind of like, oh my God, I need to call Tatum and let him know that was me. So I call him, but I don't want to just call him and say, haha, that was me. I call him and I say, oh my God, did they put beer and ice cream in your fridge?
And my first reaction is, oh my God, yes they did.
I think they came to my house too.
And I'm like, holy crap, are you kidding me? Who did it?
Yes, I'm fucking kidding you.
Yeah, and
what is wrong with you?
And I'm like, you bitch, you. And the whole time, like, Joshua, my boyfriend, is the calmest person in the room. He was like, I told you it was probably Brina.
And I can hear him laughing at Michael. Because I think Michael was just like, no, you don't know, this is serious. Like,
this could be really something, I've never, blah, 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 blah.
And he was like freaking out the whole time.
And Joshua's just like, it's bound to be Brina, she's just messing with you.
So of course, he was having a heyday when I finally called back.